to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly in your own narrative, on your own terms, and in your own story, because soon, living on your own terms is going to become a luxury that only few can afford or few are actually living. I really want to send a special shout out to my Patreon family. Thank you so much for supporting us on that platform and enabling us to continue to bring the relevant news to our people. Thanks to everyone that has subscribed to this channel as well. Be sure to like, beloveds, because there's some kind of onslaught going on against, Black consciousness YouTubers, if I can say that. So make sure that you like their videos and share them so that, we continue to battle those algorithms that may not be working in our favor. I really wanted to bring this topic to your attention because, we've started a relocation service, free plug, definitely check out the links below where if you're seriously relocating to Africa and you need contacts, you need links, and you need that on the ground information, definitely consider joining. But one of the things I've received a lot of emails from, our African American brothers and sisters, some saying, they're staying. They're not going anywhere. That is their land. And I think it's very important for us to open up the discussion that, not all African Americans came from Africa. That is one of the greatest fallacies that has happened. We were a global melanated planet, which means we were absolutely everywhere, on every land, in every country, in every continent, the countries they created. And, there's been so much that's been done because it's a mental reality, it's a mental world. There's so much that's been done to corrupt and rewrite the story, especially when you see the pictures of who they say the native Indians were. But, the Americas were actually it was like Africa. It was a melanated continent, beloveds. And the ones that were taken out looked like you and me. And there are some that were also brought from Africa, and they came and they looked for very specific people from the African continent. But the Americas, there's many of you, beloveds, who you are the native Indians. You are the Native Americans, and that is part of the inheritance that you have been, disenfranchised from. And I know I got a lot of people emotional when I said you shouldn't be waiting for reparations, because you shouldn't. You are custodians of the land. 40 acres and a mule just ain't gonna cut it. But it's time that we start to recognize, because you see, what they've tried to do is separate the melanated people so that we think that we existed in silos, or so that we think we're all different. But we are the original ones. All over the planet, we took on our different characteristics and personalities. The Aborigine in Australia are the original ones. They're related to I, beloveds. The Black people, I don't even want to call them Africans, because then, they tried to hold us into one nation, but we were a global community, beloveds. And that's why we as a melanated people need to start looking at this as it really is. It was an invasion, beloveds. And many of us aren't even ready to handle who the invasion was by, and the fact that the occupation continues, but now is the end of it. Which is why certain gods and goddesses are going to start appearing on the scene, or are already on the scene, but they're going to start making themselves known. Because the battle has been waging in earnest, beloveds. They came in peace, but they, turned into a warring, corrupt, devilish, evil people. But many African Americans You are the Native Americans. You're not even African Americans. You're Native Americans. You're the ones that they brought blankets with, was it smallpox or whatever diseases, and wiped out entire communities because they said they came in peace, but they actually came in war. And they are still warring us right until this day. So there are those beloveds of you who really don't feel any connection to Mama Africa. And this is just, a confirmation, a reassurance that America belongs to you. But the reason that America is going to face the greatest, destruction is because of all the wickedness that has been done on that land. To dominate it, because from that land they were able to dominate the world. And there are so many stories and narratives out there, beloveds. So many. And many have not been written by us. And the only story right now that I trust is the one that I go into meditation and my spirit, my higher self, my spirit guides, my ancestors, and the spirits of the land revealed to me. Because we cannot rely on what we are being told by Babylon. And so if the land belongs to you, beloveds, if you are originally from that place, that gives you so much authority to do certain things and to turn certain things, around. Because if the land recognizes you as the native ones, then it will protect you during the destruction that is literally upon us. But these are let me take a short break, and then when I come back, I'll give you some of the tips you can do in order, and this can be for wherever you are. If you know that you are a rightful ruler on their land, there's certain things that you can do to speak to the land, and you have that authority, and that can actually shift many, many things. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Welcome back, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. How you doing? How's everything going? It's really, really important for us to realize that this was not, melanated people, I'm even getting confused how to say it. Melanated people were not only on the continent of Africa, and Africa wasn't even called Africa. There's a lot of different arguments about whether it was named after a general called Africanus or what, there's many different theories. But Africa, it was actually Ethiopia, it was Kemet, the land of the black people, but it was the continent, not just the continent, sorry, the world. This was a plane of melanated people on this solar planet, beloveds. We were everywhere. But part of the imprisoning of our consciousness has come from making us feel like we were only in some parts, and Europe belonged to the Mzungus, and Asia belonged to the Asians, and Africa belonged to the Africans, and Australia, the Aborigines, but then the Mzungus have claimed it. So there's a lot of confusion, but what it has been is a global invasion, beloveds. We were everywhere. And so there are those African American brothers and sisters. I'm sorry I keep calling you African American. Native American, who just know, they feel such a connection to that land. And if you feel this, beloveds, because, and there's a lot of research that you can do. If you want me to get deeper into this, leave it in the comments below. That's not really what I was covering to come and give you a history lesson, but I just wanted this to be a confirmation to many who have known this for a long time. And it's something that I've known for a long time as well, beloveds. But what happened is that, yes, there were Africans brought from West Africa and taken to the Caribbean, taken to Latin America, and taken to the divided states. Absolutely. But there were fellow black melanated people already there. But they created this narrative like everyone was a slave, and that's how they were able to disenfranchise the few that weren't taken out in the invasion and kind of box them up in, with the slaves. But now, beloveds, all of that, is just his story. It's over. We're here now, here to change what comes next. There are certain things that are out of our control because they must happen. You see, the Babylon system must fall, but so many of us are mentally connected to it. But what you can start doing is claiming your inheritance. Don't wait for, as I said in a previous video, don't wait for anyone to be giving you reparations. But get yourself a piece of land, an acre, even an acre. Here we have eighths even. Move out of the cities, beloveds. But get yourself a piece of land. And once you own a piece of land in a certain nation, then you have like a voice. You can actually speak to the land and affect the destiny of the land and the nation. It makes you a custodian. And this is something we've never been told. And this is why Babylon has gone and tried to buy land all over the world. It was all so that they could stand and have an authority to speak in the land because they had ownership of the land. That's why the private property thing came in. So once you have the land, beloveds, identify a tree or a plant or something and start speaking, and create a shrine around that for your ancestors from that land and ask them to reveal themselves and to reveal the truth to you. If there's no way you can own land if you already have land, even if it's not yours, your mama's land, someone where it's in your family name, beloveds, already create some kind of shrine or altar for your ancestors and start to invoke their spirit and their presence, beloveds. Because, vengeance is mine, says the spirit of the ancestors. But we need a doorway. We need a gateway. We need a way to come through. Because only this physical body gives you license here on Mama Earth. I've said too much without saying enough, beloveds. But may those who have ears hear. And if you'd like me to get deeper into the intricacies of it, let me know. But if you even start looking, I hate saying Googling, but if you start searching and looking at, Native American photos, old Native American photos, you'll be shocked that they look like I, beloveds. Some are even darker than I am. It's all a lie. And for us to try and find answers in this lie is like a mental illness, beloveds. It's a total mental confusion. Nothing we've been told has been true. But if you do the work, you have the power within you to seek the truth from the other realm, which is more real than this realm, the spiritual realm. Because all these stories, beloveds, are like spells. It's like they put a spell on the whole world and they have to keep that spell going. But if you feel strongly that you're not going anywhere, you're going to stay in, the divided states and fight it out, then your bloodline may actually originate from there. But be wise about how you do it. Get off grid, although that's becoming harder now. Be wise, beloveds. Get out of the Babylon system as much as possible. And then tap into your spiritual side. Tap into your spiritual team so that you can survive the perilous times to come, because Babylon is falling. And Babylon made their home in the divided states. So you can even see, even the Babylonians themselves know Babylon is falling. That's why they're scattering and trying to build other strongholds in China. But this was a global melanated solar planet, which means we were everywhere. So let's not try and make them, make us seem like we were all from Africa. Zion, Eden. Eden was the first, but there were many, and there are many still. Tuko pamoja.